Perched high on a rugged hilltop, nestled entirely within Italy, lies the enchanting country of San Marino. This tiny yet timeless republic, one of the world's oldest, feels like a step into living history. Majestic castle towers crown the cliffs, standing watch over sweeping vistas that reveal San Marino's breathtaking landscapes. Drawn by its rich heritage and dramatic scenery, I had to see this micronation with my own eyes. And here's how it went. Good morning, guys, and welcome to my 132nd country, San Marino. San Marino is one of the oldest republics in the world, over 1700 years old, established in 301 AD, and it is the 5th smallest country in the world and 3rd smallest country here in Europe. And it's a very unique country here because it's completely surrounded by Italy. So we're in the northeast part of Italy, and surrounded by the Italian countryside is this little mountain called Titano, and on top of this mountain we have an independent nation called San Marino. And San Marino is only about 30,000 people, so it's very small, and it just feels like a tiny little village here, but it has some of the most beautiful topography. Again, we're up on top of Titano Mountain, and on top of Titano Mountain you have these 3 castle towers that are right along the cliffs of the mountain here, and you just have these beautiful 360-degree views looking out over the Italian countryside, and you can see some of the mountains off this way. You can see the Adriatic Sea way over there, and Croatia way off in the distance there. And it's a place I've been wanting to come to for a long time. It's just a little out of the way from most places. I flew into Bologna, and then from Bologna you have to take a train down to Rimini, and then from Rimini you can take a bus up here to San Marino. So the main capital town of San Marino is built onto Titano Mountain, so you have all of these winding old cobblestone streets that take you up to these old castles that just have incredible views. So I'm starting on the northern end of the old town of San Marino here, and there's a little cable car funicular that if you are staying down below the city here, you can take the cable car up for only about €3, and that'll get you up into the city here. And then right on the northern edge you just have some flags of San Marino flapping in the wind, and then just some beautiful views overlooking the country of San Marino and the Italian countryside. So anyways, we're going to start here in the northern part of San Marino and just go for a little bit of a wander through the old town here, eventually checking out some of the castles and seeing what else this country has to offer. So yeah, let's start exploring. Just a few blocks from the cable car and that nice little Il Canton viewpoint that we had in the northern part of the city, we've come to Liberty Square. And Liberty Square is kind of the main gathering point of the town of San Marino. You have the Statue of Liberty right here. You have the public palace, which is kind of like the town hall where a lot of governing functions happen. And then you're on this plaza that just has this incredible view looking out to the western part of San Marino and then some of the mountains off in Italy there. And it's just this really nice little plaza. You have a couple cafes that will be set up here and some other just elegant buildings in the square here. So the public palace here, which kind of operates as the town hall and again has a lot of the government administrative functions, is right here, and we're going to go in there and check it out. I think you have to pay to do a tour, but just on the outside here you just have some incredible architecture. There's this really beautiful doorway, so let's see if we can head in and check out the inside of the public palace. I've just stepped inside the entrance hall of the public palace there, and unfortunately they're not doing tours today, but I was able to inquire the price, and it's usually about €9 if you wanted to get a little tour of the town hall. And this rendition of the public palace was finished in 1894, but since about the early 14th century, there has been a town hall in this location in the Liberty Plaza of San Marino. So pretty cool. I was able to look inside the entrance hall and see a little bit of the artwork and this grand staircase that leads you up to some of the administrative buildings there. So anyways, from the Liberty Plaza here, it looks like there's another little staircase that's going to keep taking us up the hill of San Marino here, up towards some of the castles. So yeah, let's keep exploring. I've just been weaving my way through some of these old streets of San Marino, and I've come here pretty early in the morning, so it's super quiet, and I have a lot of these winding old streets completely to myself, which has been beautiful for photos and just exploring the quiet peacefulness. I'm sure it'll get a little bit busier later in the afternoon, but we've come up to the Basilica de San Marino here, which is built on one of the original sites of the first church of San Marino that's dedicated to Saint Mirrorless, which is the patron saint of San Marino and the one who founded this nation 1700 years ago. And there was evidence of a church dating back to the 4th, 5th century here, but this basilica was built in 1836. So yeah, it looks like it's open, so let's head in and check out the Basilica de San Marino. That was the interior of the Basilica San Marino, and just European churches are just so incredibly beautiful, so detailed. You had these 3 main naves, the central nave that just had this beautiful white ceiling that had such detailed architecture to it, and then you had these Corinthian columns that separated the side naves that had just beautiful artwork and statues along the side, nicely lit by all of these candles. And yeah, just an incredible look inside the church there. So anyways, we're gonna keep wandering here, keep heading up the hill of San Marino, and just get some more views, and eventually we're heading towards the castles. Guys, I have just walked the rest of the way up the hill of Titano, and I'm just beneath the first tower here. And as we were weaving up these old town streets, a lot of the shops were starting to open up. So you have all of these shopping, these souvenir shops and leather shops that you can check out along the way. And then right beneath the first tower, there's this little platform that opens up here that gives you 180-degree views, looking back down on the village here and then looking out over the countryside. And that's just the coolest part about San Marino so far. It's just everywhere you go, all of these little plazas just have such incredible sweeping views of the countryside here because the whole city's just elevated above everything. So anyways, we're right beneath the first tower, which was built in 1253. So I'm gonna go over, get a ticket, and then head in, and then we should be getting even better views from up on top of the tower there. So let's head in and check it out. I have just entered the first tower here, which is called Gaeta Castle, which again was built in about 1253. And at the entrance here, my hotel, they gave me a little coupon code that gets me the 2 towers, this one and the second tower, and then about 4 museums for €8. And if you don't have that coupon code, I think it's about €11 to get access to all of the museums and towers here. So anyways, let's walk around and just explore this tower. Hopefully we can go up some of these buildings here and just get some really nice views overlooking San Marino. As you enter the tower there's a little courtyard that has a couple of these museums, some really old maps of San Marino, which I absolutely loved looking at, some old weapons. And then you can climb up these ladders and old rickety stairs that take you to the top of the tallest tower here in San Marino. And you have all of these little turret windows that you can look out, and you're looking out down on the orange terracotta roofs of a lot of the little villages that make up San Marino. You're looking down on the courtyard of the tower that we were just exploring a little bit. You can look out and see the other tower, and you can just see some of the mountains off in the distance here, and just absolutely stunning views here overlooking San Marino. So I'm going to take my time enjoying the 360-degree views that you get out of these windows here, and just incredible to think of what this landscape must have been like in the 11th century when this was originally built. So yeah, love feeling the medieval vibes here in San Marino. So yeah, let's enjoy the views. I have just come down from the top of the tower right there, and just incredible 360-degree views of San Marino overlooking the other tower over there and the villages below. And before I leave the first tower complex here, there's this little castle wall that you can just walk along the outer edge, getting some similar views looking out of some of these like little turret holes that make up the castle wall. So yeah, let's walk along the edge here. That's about it for the first tower there. Again, cool little museum that shows you a little bit of the history and some old pictures and illustrations of what this castle looked like. And yeah, just amazing 360-degree views looking over the whole country of San Marino from up there, and then looking out over towards the second tower. So before we head to the second tower, as I was coming up this hill, it looked like there was this really awesome little restaurant built right onto the edge of the cliff here that does some pizzas. So let's see if we can go there and get an early lunch with some nice views. I've just come down a little ways from the first tower here to La Campana Cafe, and you're just right on the edge of these rocky cliffs, and there's this beautiful little restaurant seating area, and you can get some wood-fired pizza here just with these beautiful views looking right up at the castle that we were just exploring. So yeah, let's enjoy lunch and then we'll keep exploring San Marino. Just finished lunch with that beautiful view overlooking San Marino, and now we're gonna head out of the old town wall here, and then you go down what's called the Witch's Steps that lead you across the way to this other hill where the second tower is. So yeah, let's head down here and walk across, check out the second tower. And as we're going down the Witch's Steps here, we're on this like little ridge, so you're looking down on some of the villages on both sides beneath us here. Just walked all the way across Mount Titano here to the second tower, and right as you enter the second tower, which was included in the €8 that I paid earlier, you start right away into a weapons and armor museum. So you have a lot of these old rifles and swords and spears and shields that they used to use that was from like the medieval times, and so very interesting to kind of see that as you walk through. And then I've just come up to a little courtyard here, and then I think we can go to the top of the second tower here to get some beautiful 360-degree views. So let's keep walking up and check out the rest of the second tower. There were just a couple series of stairs that took you up to the top of the second tower here, and there's this 360-degree turreted top fortress up here that you can walk around, and you get all these views looking back on the first tower that we were just exploring earlier, and you can really appreciate how San Marino is just built on these steep, jagged, rocky cliffs, and you can see the town just cascading down the other side of the mountain here. And then around on the other side, you can see the third tower, which we really haven't gotten a glimpse of yet. And so you can look at that one that's also right on the cliff there. So yeah, let's walk around the top of this tower, enjoy some of these views. So that was the second of the 3 towers here in San Marino. And again, you're right in between the 2 towers there, and you're on top of Mount Titano, which is the highest point in San Marino. So you're getting beautiful views looking back at the first tower, and then also looking ahead to the 3rd tower. So from the 2nd tower, you can exit the city wall a little bit, and we're gonna head over to the 3rd tower. I don't think you can actually go inside the tower, but let's just walk along the ridgeline here and check that out. It's about a 1/4 mile, and it looks like it's this nice wooded path that'll take us over there. And as we're hiking over to the 3rd tower, let me tell you a little bit about one of the sponsors of this video, Olafly. Now, Olafly is an eSIM company that is available in over 150 destinations, and having a travel eSIM has been essential while traveling, because while I'm on the road here, while I'm filming videos like this, I am constantly doing research as I'm going around to these places to give you little bits of facts of some of the dates, some names of places. So having unlimited data by Olafly allows me to Google things as I'm going, as well as doing a lot of the logistics. I'm constantly looking at maps, and I'm having to plan routes, and then in between videos, I'm booking buses, flights, hotels. And I'm usually doing that all on the go, being pretty spontaneous. So sometimes I don't even know where I'm spending the next night. So I'm trying to figure that out while I'm on the bus. So having unlimited data has allowed me to be really flexible, really spontaneous. And when I'm in these foreign countries, being able to figure out logistics along the way. And then third, being able to share the journey. Obviously, I'm filming these videos on YouTube, but also on Instagram and my social media accounts. Having unlimited data, I'm never worried about running out of storage or space or data usage as I'm sharing a lot of highlights and stories and posting and sharing with you guys on Instagram. So this next month, while I'm traveling around Europe, I'm partnering with Olafly, who offers these unlimited data packs. And one really cool feature is that you can buy regional packs. So I ended up just buying the Europe pack, which will cover me the next 3 weeks as I'm traveling all around Europe here. And I know I'm always gonna have data, and I also am not having to worry about getting local SIM cards, trying to find stores, bringing your passport to get the SIM. I already have the eSIM in my pocket at all times, fully loaded. So anyways, yeah, if you want to check out Olafly, there's a link in my description to get 10% off. If you want an eSIM while traveling, highly recommend it. Makes traveling logistics and research so much easier. Just about a 10-15 minute hike from the 2nd tower. We've made it to the base of the 3rd and final tower of San Marino here. And this is a bit of an isolated tower all the way by itself on the southern end of Mount Titano. And it was built in 1320, and it's just a standalone tower here. Unfortunately, you can't go in it, and there's not really too much to see around it. Although from here, you can get a couple views looking back on the 2nd tower here, and you can just see just some of the jagged, rocky cliff faces, and then looking out over the southern side of San Marino. So pretty cool. Anyways, I'm gonna start hiking back towards town, and since our ticket gets us a couple of the museums in San Marino, I think I'm gonna head back to town, check out a few of the other museums that I have access to today, and then just walk around a couple more of the winding old streets, because the old town is just built on that hill, and it's just really fun to walk around some of those streets there, and I want to show you guys that. So yeah, let's start the hike back to town. So I have just wandered back into the old town here and gone through all of these cute little winding streets that just go up and down, lots of hills, and just really fun. And I've made it to the Plaza Titano, which is kind of near the center, right beneath that first Plaza of Liberty that we started at this morning. And right in the center here, there's the State Museum, which is included in the museum pass that I bought earlier today. So let's head into the State Museum and check that out. So that was the State Museum of San Marino, and it's 4 levels of different artifacts and artwork. And typically I'm not a big museum person, but it was included in the whole pass. So if you're into museums and artifacts and artwork and you have the pass anyways, you can spend about 20-30 minutes, maybe more if you want, in there. But it's mostly just art and artifacts, and a lot of the descriptions are in Italian, so I wasn't able to read a lot of the stuff there. But yeah, very beautiful seeing some of the old artwork that is very centric to San Marino. So anyways, we're going to continue heading down some of the weaving streets of the old town here and head to the Church of San Francisco, which is another major church here in San Marino. I have just walked all the way down to the bottom part of the walled city of San Marino here to the Church of San Francisco, which was built in 1361. So let's head in and check out the church, and then right next to the church is the Museum of San Francisco, which is also included in our museum pass today. I just finished visiting the Church of San Francisco, and it was very dark in there, and it had this yellow stained glass on the ceiling that let this like dark yellow light in, and then you had these massive paintings on the side, and then at the front there was a crucifix that's from the original church in the 13th century. Very interesting. And now I've just come right next door to the San Francisco Museum, which has a lot of the artwork from the 13th through the 18th century, as well as some of the clothing and furniture from a few of the convents that were found here in San Marino. So let's walk around this museum and check out some of this old artwork. Alright guys, so that was the San Francisco Museum, and that was right next to the church, and lots of really cool old church artifacts in there. And then there was a section on how they used to transcribe a lot of the text before the Gutenberg press, which was really interesting, and which was one of the main jobs of the monks in the convent there back in like the 13, 14, 1500s up to the 1800s. So very fascinating to see that. So after checking out a few of the museums there, I think that about ends my tour of San Marino here. Really not that big of a place, which I wasn't expecting. I mean, it's one of the smallest countries in the world, and with only 30,000 people, there's only so much that you can see and do here. But honestly, just such an incredibly beautiful country. I was drawn to come here because it is an independent nation, but after just walking around here, this is really just one of the most scenic and beautiful villages I've ever seen. I mean, if it was just a village in Italy, it would still be worth coming way out of your way to come here because it is just so beautiful. Built right into this hill, you have these 3 castle towers that are just right along the cliff's edge there, and just really fascinating. Feels like something out of a fairy tale. It's just so picturesque. And then just all of these fun winding old streets with these cute little shops and cafes that just weave their way up and down some of these mountains. And then again, you're just always having a beautiful, stunning view looking out over the Italian countryside here. So yeah, this was an incredible place to come. Again, this was my 132nd country, so if you're looking for a new country or just a beautiful little Italian type getaway to this incredible old town on a hill with castles, this is definitely an awesome place to come. Just so scenic, so beautiful, and yeah, really fun place to explore. So anyways, that's about it for San Marino video here. I'm going to be heading back to Italy tomorrow, going to Bologna and Venice. So if you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful, please give it a like or a comment. And if you want to see some of the other adventures coming up throughout Italy and Europe the next couple weeks, then definitely subscribe, and I'll see you guys the next time in Bologna.